Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and I'm going to talk about transfer portal season, flipping commits, and so on. It has been an absolute crazy week for college football and even Miami Hurricanes football. Good Lord, man. It has been just recently. You get Jaleel Skinner entering the transfer portal. Shocking to me, Colby Young entered the transfer portal. He was a shock because of the fact that I thought he had a pretty good season, so I thought he wanted to run it back with Dawson's offense being in his second year, but decides to desire to take his talents elsewhere. So good luck to him and good luck to Skinner. I understand Skinner's position, but the young one came as a bit of a surprise to me. Then it's special season, to quote Alex Downo, as the Canes are able to flip defensive lineman Kendall Jackson from the Florida Gators over to the Miami Hurricanes. But I want to talk about today our potential quarterbacks, all right? Potential quarterbacks. I did a video not too long ago, in reference to the quarterbacks that the top three I would like to see, as far as future Canes go. As Ward, one of them is still up, two of them are actually still up in the air. But I want to talk about Kyle McCord and Will Howard. But the one thing I have learned about this transfer portal season, as you really don't know exactly what's going on, all right, and what these kids are thinking. We can only speculate. We could only speculate, but we really don't know. You can see predictions all you want, but in many cases, they could be wrong, right? Like, for example, everyone that is, on YouTube, not everyone, I can't say everyone, but a lot of people that are on YouTube that are considered experts in recruiting or reporting, etc., and predictions pretty much had Cam Ward as a near lock to Ohio State. Well, we just found out today that Cam Ward is not even thinking about Ohio State, as the four schools down to get Cam Ward services are Miami, FSU, Auburn, and USC. All right, Cam Ward is expected to be visiting here sometime this weekend alongside with Will Rogers as well. Will Rogers, by the way, who was also considered to be a complete lock for Washington, and that there's a lot of smoke to that, all right, as far as him becoming a Husky goes. There's a lot of talk about that, but he's still coming to Miami, and that's still a possibility that he could become a Cane. We don't know. Again, we don't know. What I do know is that we will end up with a pretty solid transfer portal quarterback, whomever it might be. Maybe somebody I mentioned, maybe someone I don't mention, maybe a surprise to some of us, may not be a surprise to some of us. We don't know, but it is a pretty good season for transfer portal quarterbacks. I do want to talk about too, because there's been a lot of smoke, all right, about Kyle McCord, coming to Miami. Then that changed, and now I hear there's a lot of smoke about him possibly going to Nebraska, because whatever the case would be, it's just been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy as far as this kid goes. But as far as a lot of the quarterbacks tied to the Canes or mentioned to possibly become a Miami Hurricane, he is the most polarizing, right? The fan base is completely divided on Kyle McCord, and there's various reasons for that. It's because my personal perspective, he might remind a lot of the fan base of Tyler Van Dyke. The reason why I say that is because he's a pure pocket passer. I'm going to get into some of the good intangibles that I noticed when watching, McCord on tape and what I think of him, and I'll get into the positives and negatives about McCord and whatnot. But the bottom line is, though, the kid is a good pocket passer, and he does go through his progressions. You can't really say he's a one-read guy. One of the biggest knocks on him is that the fact that he's throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the best wide receiver in college football, and he was a Heisman Trophy finalist and so on. That's all fine and dandy, but the bottom line is, every good quarterback is also made by a good wide receiver, and vice versa. Okay, it's pretty much a relationship, a symbiotic relationship that has to work. Okay. So good wide receivers also, in many cases, also have very good quarterbacks as well. So I don't want to take away from the kid and his talent just because he had the best wide receiver in the game, for his whole year that he was, at OSU as a starting quarterback. All right. McCord in his 2023 season had 3,170 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions for the season. Okay. Overall in his career, I'm going to show you the graphic right now. In his career, he had 3,776 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions with a 66.5 completion percentage. The kid is pretty accurate, as you can pretty much tell. So I want to go over, he's accurate, all right? He's accurate. He hit his guys in stride. as far as that goes. He could also, understand defenses. A lot of throws he made that I saw in the film were against some zone defenses, able to split the zone. So one of the biggest knocks on Tyler Van Dyke is that he couldn't read zone or didn't adjust to zone. And McCord can't adjust his zone. He goes through his progressions. Although he threw a lot to Marvin Harrison, who wouldn't, he also was very capable of going to his checkdowns as well, whether it be a tailback, whether it be a tight end, whether it be another receiver, a slot receiver, etc. So McCord is very good at going through progressions, not turning the ball over, and checking down to the receiver that is available and open. So he's not afraid to do that. Upsides, again, good arm, goes through progressions, very accurate. Negatives on the kid, from what I saw in video, he will stare down receivers. Okay, maybe that's the videos of which I saw a couple games, but he will stare down some receivers. That's the only thing I will say about Kyle that could be a bit of an issue. But not only that, he's also not mobile. Okay, I do feel, and I'll get more into that, as it goes on. But I do think Canes fans in general do want a mobile quarterback. Okay, they want a quarterback that could extend plays, and I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of the fan base is turned off to Kyle McCord. Aside from also being a Buckeye, that could be also a little bit of a bias there. But the bottom line is, though, that's why I think a lot of fan base is turned off by Kyle McCord is the fact he's not a flashy like Michael Penix or Cam Ward, who's in the portal this season, and he's just not mobile. Okay, so if situation wrecks, in terms of somebody misses a protection and so on, he could be basically sacked on a blitz or just the blocking breaks down, he may be prone to make a mistake or just throw the ball away instead of maybe getting at least maybe a first down with his legs. So that's one of the things that I do think the fan base is worried about when it comes to Kyle McCord. But as far as the ones I've mentioned on the show and I've heard throughout YouTube, Kyle McCord seems to be the most polarizing one as far as the fan base goes. Some fans don't mind him. They think he could be effective. Other fans are like hell to the no when it comes to McCord. I overheard, Flo from the Miami Flow podcast on You Heard, and they were discussing Kyle McCord, and he said that Kyle McCord won't, basically throw a game away. Like, he won't throw you out of a game. And I do agree. One of the biggest problems with Tyler Van Dyke this year was the fact, especially Georgia Tech moving forward, he was an interception machine, and that cost the Canes some games. Kyle McCord's arm will not cost us the game. Okay, if the Canes lose, they lose. Okay, more than likely he will not throw multiple interception games. Have a lot of those, and it will not be a pattern with him. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to move on to a dual threat quarterback, and that is Will Howard. Right, Will Howard from Kansas State. Right, Will Howard. This season had 24 touchdowns, 2,643 yards, 10 interceptions, at 61.3%, completion percentage. He is a pretty big guy as well. He is dual threat for his career at Kansas State. All right, 5,786 yards passing, 48 touchdowns, and 25 INTs, interceptions. All right, positive on this guy. He's a big guy. Okay, he's 6'5", 242. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's a load to bring down on 4th and 1 on short yard situations. He could run a sneak, and he's very difficult to tackle and bring down. He's got a big arm as well. All right, he's got a big arm as well, which is good because we know Mario likes quarterbacks with big arms. The dual threat capabilities is something that Shannon Dawson was used to as far as his offenses go, whether it was in West Virginia or in Houston. So he may be able to use Will Howard in a way that he wasn't able to use Tyler Van Dyke throughout this past season. The only knock on him is I do think he might be a bit turnover prone. 24-10. That's basically for every 2 touchdowns he throws 1 interception. 25 INTs overall in his career. Although he will give you some touchdowns, he will extend plays. That's the only concern I really have, is that in many cases he may throw an interception by trying to throw too much or throwing into double coverage. That's the only thing about Will Howard that I am concerned about. But nonetheless, I do think he could be a great get for the Canes just because he's able to extend plays with his legs. And of course, he's also very big and strong. Overall, Canes fans, enjoy this ride. Okay, well, whomever we get, let's support, right? Let's support because they are going to be leading this football team this upcoming 2024 season. I do think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a very solid one. I do think the Canes will make a lot of improvement on the offensive side of the ball. There won't be no 7-5. I do think the Canes could possibly, sorry about that, could possibly hit 10-win games. Again, have a 10-game win season. Again, I know some people like, yo, have told me, slow it down. Don't be too optimistic. But I look at the schedule. I look at the progression. All right. I do think this team is capable of winning 10 games a season. I do think that if they're able to get the right quarterback for this system and the individual is extremely effective in terms of precision passing, getting the ball to the receivers, getting the ball and making sure he doesn't make mistakes, all right, mistakes with the football that can put your team and your defenses in bad situations, there's no reason why this football team can't win more games. Most of Miami's losses this year were by 7 points and under. Okay, so a touchdown here, an interception that didn't happen here. Miami could have been a 10-win team, 9 to 10 wins, not 7-5. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what we get. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the ride. It has been a fun week so far in the transfer portal. Okay, it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying covering recruiting. I'm enjoying seeing what's going on. I'm enjoying the rumors. I ain't gonna lie, all right. And I'm enjoying it, bringing it to you as well. I will be going over Kendall Jackson real soon, all right, as well. And as far as breaking news goes, I'll also give it to you as well, especially if we do get a quarterback by sometime this week. We need a quarterback really soon. We can't take our time in getting the quarterback because a national signing day wrapping up. I do think this young core of receivers, although many of them do feel locked in, all right, again, until I sign a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. I do feel many of these guys are completely locked in, whether it's, Ja'Cory Brown or somebody to get from the portal or Emory Williams next season. Nonetheless, they need to make this search really quick, really fast, and get the right guy to be under center for next season. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like and share 305 Sports Now. Have a great day. God bless. See you soon. Go Canes. All about to you. Bye-bye, guys.